Welcome back. Right now, I'm very much excited to talk to Joel Dehlin, the co-owner of Salt Lake Shred. This is a new disc league right here in Salt Lake City. Joel, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, and this is the inaugural season of Salt Lake Shred. So tell me more about how this team has evolved and how it came to be.
Well, they're a group of us that love Ultimate Frisbee, and we've wanted to bring a professional team, a men's professional team, back to Utah. And so we got together to do that. There was a women's team that came about 2 years ago, Utah Wild, and there was a men's team about 10 years ago. So now we brought it back, and there are two professional Ultimate Frisbee teams in Utah now.
And it sounds like this is going to start playing, this team, in the springtime, and we are very much looking forward to that. So tell me a little bit more about how these teams play, how this league is formed, and if someone isn't familiar with Ultimate Frisbee, kind of how the dynamics behind the play and how everything is structured.
Think of Ultimate Frisbee as a cross between soccer, basketball, and football. It's a very high-paced, fast-moving, lots of jumping, running, moving around quickly, trying to get the disc from one side of the field to the other side. And for men, it's about the size of a football field. You throw the disc, you can't run with the disc, you catch it, you turn around and you're looking for somebody else that's moving down the field. So quite often you'll see people throw the disc and people diving in order to catch the disc. The defense is trying to swat the disc down or catch it, and then they get to move in the other direction to try and score themselves.
And Utah actually has quite an interesting history in this sport and some really talented athletes here. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so it's Utah has had a really great, robust Ultimate Frisbee scene for the last few years. The youth scene every year goes to nationals. There's a team called Lone Peak High School in Alpine that goes to the high school national championship every year, and they do extremely well. And then there's an all-star set of teams, women's under 20, men under 20, and men under 17. And those teams have done extremely well in the state all-star leagues, tournaments that happen in Minnesota every year. So Utah, people notice Utah. So when we announced that we'd have a men's team here, people were really excited because they know how many great Ultimate Frisbee players we have here. We also have some college and club teams that have done really well. BYU, Utah State, University of Utah, and then some club teams, one in particular called the Killjoys, that have all gone to nationals, have all competed very well, and we'll definitely be picking up players from all of those different teams.
And I believe there's even some high school clubs, high school teams as well. Is that true?
Yeah, so Lone Peak High School is a great team. There are about 30 or 40 high school teams across the state, all the way from Cache Valley down to Provo. And the leagues and the tournaments are very robust. There's a nonprofit organization called Utah Ultimate that spends a lot of time facilitating coaches and teams and players in order to help the youth programs move forward. And just what, there's also a middle school scene. So there are middle school teams and tournaments. So it's really grown in the last few years. And there's a group called Ultimate Play that is even teaching at the elementary school level for people to learn this sport. It's an incredible sport. Once people start playing it and once they start watching it, they're hooked.
And I find that really exciting that these teams are going down to the high school level and the middle school level. And I appreciate you explaining all of that, because that really shows that the excitement for this team, for Salt Lake Shred, and also the longevity of the sport right here in the state, which is what we all like to see. You're the co-owner, as I mentioned, of Salt Lake Shred. I'm curious, what drew you into the sport? And I know that you really believe in the power of this sport to really change people.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. When I first was introduced to the sport, I knew how to throw a Frisbee when I was younger, but I didn't really know there was a game where you could play that was rough and tumble and exciting and very active. So in 2011, I was at a camp out with my kids, and there were a bunch of adults and their kids playing Ultimate Frisbee. And I thought, this is incredible. So we went out and played. None of us knew how to throw very well. So we all went home. We were living in Connecticut at the time. And we went to Google and we started learning how to throw, but we had no place to play. So then when we moved to Alpine, the Lone Peak High School program was here, and my kids started to play that. And my kids were a bunch of really athletic kids that never truly found the sport that they loved, and they found the sport that they love. So I've been coaching at Lone Peak. I've been coaching the Utah All-Star youth teams for years now. And when there was an opportunity to buy a pro team franchise here in Utah, I jumped at the opportunity.
And where's the team at right now in real time? I think you recently had tryouts, or tryouts just finished. When does the play start? And how can we make sure to be able to get tickets and come and watch the team?
Oh, thanks for asking. Our tryouts are actually Saturday, a week from this Saturday. There will be open tryouts. Anyone can come to try out. And then we'll have closed tryouts. We'll do some cuts. And then a couple of weeks later, we'll have our second tryout. But we have already signed some professionals that have played for professional teams in the past. So we've got some players that have played for San Diego Growlers and for the DC Breeze and for other professional teams that are here now playing for us. Oh, and the Seattle Cascades. If you want to come, go to our website, saltlakeshred.com, and you can get tickets. We're playing at the Zions Bank Arena in Harriman. It's an incredible venue. It's really, really a cool venue to come watch, to bring your family, to bring your coworkers, or to bring your friends.
Well, thank you so much, Joel Dehlin, for joining us today. Very excited about Salt Lake Shred and its inaugural season. Please come back, and we'd love to talk with you again before the season officially starts this spring. And thanks again for your time today. We'll be back with more right here on Mountain Connections after this.